Welcome to Grateful Gwen Goodreads, where we are reading The Art of Being, Recapturing the Self by Laroze. The Dressing Gown. For those who want to familiarize themselves with laziness, the dressing gown is the gentlest of teachers. More than an article of clothing, it's a manner of being. Just as the emblem on a riding boot suggests conquering activity, the dressing gown suggests its diametric opposite. The best way to approach the dressing gown is to take a bath or a hot shower, perfume yourself lightly, and slide over toward it, taking care to leave your skin naked. The choice of dressing gown is important. That goes without saying. Often the oldest and most outdated is the best. You recall with emotion your old soft silken robe, purple-hued with a black velvet collar, whose softness was incomparable. The dressing gown knows how to keep its promises. Its charm takes effect immediately. From the moment that you gently adjust the tie around the waist, you experience a strange sensation of lightness, as if this article of clothing absorbs all of the tensions caught up in your body and expels them, cleansing you of them in one magical gesture. Awaking in you passionate secrets by way of this game of caressing, light contact, the dressing gown pulls us toward the bed, the armchair, or the sofa, and you regret not having one of each in every room. Incense, steaming tea, the scent of roses flowing toward you, a beloved book slid between your fingers, the curtains brushing gently along the ground. Nothing exists except the exquisite pleasure of this forgotten time, of the past and of the future. To move forward meant shaking free of his dressing gown, not only from his shoulders, but also from his soul and spirit. Ivan Goncharov. Idleness. A man of leisure, a bird, idleness. Flapping wings, elegant and graceful movement, a caress, a winding road free of unforeseeable detours stretching out before you. Is this idleness? Setting out for an early morning walk, the wind in your hair, hands in your pockets, strolling around according to your whim, you happily experience for the first time the feeling of giving in completely to your own desires. Idleness is such a curious state of the soul. How can you recognize it? By a certain detachment, by a certain desire to break free from everyday activity, to hold yourself at a distance as if places and objects cannot hold you down anymore, as if they no longer have the ability to tie you down. You feel the need to pull up the anchor, to let yourself experience an adventure without worrying what you're leaving back on earth, but also without any specific goal in mind. Detached? Yes. Furniture, walls, hedges you have left behind, eager for air, space, emptiness. The faint, sweet smell of lime trees calls you, and so do the soft breeze that rustles the leaves and the immense blue sky, clean and fresh, like an open invitation to let go. It's almost as if the quality of your outlook and your consideration of the world has changed. You've given yourself some distance, of course, but some elevation as well. Your point of view is no longer the same, and the horizon you embrace is larger, vaster, revealing perspectives unknown to you before this moment. You feel like a bird. What feeling are you experiencing? You don't feel especially lazy, although you don't feel inclined to start any major projects either. This is a state of opening up, of availability, where all of your faculties are receptive to your inspirations. To be curious, accessible, ready to react, that is being idle. Indeed, to be idle, you have to be able to fulfill the dictated requirements, follow the laws of instinct, randomness, spontaneity. You must not abide by a plan nor have any purpose. So, you've left the house without any idea of what time you will return, without even knowing if you will return. To those who ask you, you say that you don't know, and more importantly, you don't want to know. What is so wonderful about this is that before you a horizon stretches with no boundaries, where all obstacles and borders have been erased. When you were a child, the immense beaches on the coast of the Atlantic fascinated you. What a pleasure it was to walk along the beach, knowing that it would never end. You walked for the sole purpose of walking, and that in itself made you happy, that you thought you would never need or desire anything more. But without doubt, idleness goes hand in hand with childhood. The consciousness of a child is not a completely blank slate, of course, because it has already been immersed in thousands of sensations and impressions, but it's not as compartmentalized and rigid as that of an adult either. The consciousness of an idle person has the lightness and hypersensitivity of that of a child. Doors are open, passageways are free of obstacles, and communication is made easy. Everything that grabs your attention interests and amuses you. Idleness makes you open, an observer, curious. You open your arms to other beings, events, and things without discrimination. They are all stored in your consciousness, accessible to your sense of curiosity. The idle person chooses a path, explores it to the end, only to abandon it for another. The straightest route isn't without its problems, so he selects his road arbitrarily. His wanderings aren't unlike those of a bird who dives toward the earth to grab something, but then at the last moment swoops back up toward the sky, letting himself be taken by the wind, gliding in the cool currents, soaring upwards toward the warmth. He is really living, and with his wings unfolded, completely available to any situations that the outside world may bring him. That's why idle people scare the rest of the world who are not used to thinking outside the box. You never know where they're going, what they're doing, or what they're trying to accomplish. They never take on any precise project. They don't stick to the plan. They just follow their noses at the whim of their inspiration and intuitions without any concern that their only boss is their own free will. It's true that idlers have their bad points. You think that they are ready to try anything, eager for new and unplanned experiences, but the idle actually have the habit of taking roads backward, disappearing from here and then reappearing somewhere else. And they are never there when you are waiting for them. They're always in the wrong place at the wrong time. The idle have nothing to prove, and that is what's so infuriating. It means that they have nothing to show, to explain, or to justify. Their choices are based on what things are worth, what these things will bring to them, not on what they represent. What matters for them are experience, curiosity, discovery. The idle cannot be forced to fit the mold. They are too evasive, too much in love with their liberty and freedom from worry. You can accuse them of being superficial. You can talk about their instability or their inability to stay still, but except for those who really take advantage of being idlers, those who choose not to work and to leech off of others, this is not true. In general, idleness undoubtedly does good by giving those with an open spirit the capacity to appreciate the savor of existence. Strolling around, you begin to wonder if you are even capable of capturing this idleness that you feel ripening deep inside you. It could be a useful lesson for mastering the art of doing nothing. Sure enough, little by little a path appears in the road. By following your impressions, you begin to realize that all of the micro-events making up this day form not only a logical and rational whole, but a kind of branching tree that enables you to perceive the world more widely, in a more flexible manner. Intuition, if it is well managed, is a major asset in the life of an idler, and if there was one and only one path to take, it would be this one. Intuition is what allows you to progress, guided by chance and curiosity, in the spirit of listening and being receptive to things that otherwise couldn't make themselves known to you. To that extent, idleness is beautiful. It assures an open, permanently awake consciousness, molded by many impressions and opportunities. You can also think of idleness as a period of apprenticeship, but the purpose is not to learn a certain skill for once and for all. It is to learn a skill that can be used again and again whenever you need it. As soon as your life seems to be escaping from the boxes you've tried to put it in, as soon as you feel rigidity and an absence of vision setting in, provoking all the nightmare scenarios you've ever imagined, you should embrace idleness. Here is a way you can unclog the system and reconsider the world around you from a lighter and fresher outlook. By welcoming in this open state of mind, you can both give yourself distance from that which weighs you down and restore lightness to all things. Today, you definitely feel that by introducing idleness into the moral and aesthetic scope of your existence, by reconsidering it, by looking at it from a different angle, you have realized that it can be useful for you. To hold on to your idle spirit, that is, to keep it in an open state, receptive, awake, and not to weigh it down with preconceptions, is to nourish and enrich it without prejudice, so that, when the right time comes, you can once again find idleness as soon as you need it. And we'll wrap it up there for today. Until next time, take care. Enjoy a little bit of idleness.